All right. Well, off we go. So quite a few people have joined in the last few minutes and seconds. So just to say again, welcome, thank you, and thank you very much for sharing your lunchtime with us for this quick webinar to run through our product vision and Q1 roadmap at Mayday. Both Griff and I are thrilled to have you here. We're fully clad in our Mayday attire. I'm sporting the latest in our kind of fashion line, the Mayday gilet, which Griff very kindly got me for my birthday. We haven't yet got to sort of Mayday Steve Jobs roll necks, but who knows? By next quarter's product roadmap, we may well be there. So I'm just going to do brief intros to us as founders. So my name's David Tuck. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at Mayday. I'm an accountant by training. I then did a succession of startup SME finance roles. Founded and led Chaser, the credit control accounts receivable automation software for 7 years, and now a year and a half, delightedly into building Mayday. Over to you, Griff.
Hi, everyone. I'm Griff, so I'm co-founder and CTO here at Mayday. David and I met about 10 or 11 years ago now when I was CTO at my first startup, IDEO, and Dave came in as interim CFO. I since was CTO at a different startup called Runway, but this is my third time CTO, first time founding. I'm very excited to be on this journey.
Amazing. So, really excited about the session today. We have an allotted kind of time for Q&A at the end, but please do fire any questions that you've got in the Q&A, the chat sections on the webinar, and we'll pick them up accordingly. And so, yeah, just to sort of step back, like build in public is a real sort of core part of our ethos at Mayday. We love the sort of the openness and just the opportunities for kind of for feedback and learning that come from it. So hopefully people have seen that we published our public product vision at the back end of last year, and we have and will continue to be publishing our quarterly product roadmaps on an ongoing basis. So it's just a really kind of exciting opportunity to get your feedback, to get your input, to share what we're so excited about and why we hope you will be very excited as well, and how you can help influence that direction for us. So I mentioned our public product vision that we put live late last year. We'll just bring up the kind of the slide for that in a second. So yeah, this is the vision that we put live late last year. And there's still a survey that you'll find on our website. So we'd love to hear your views if you haven't provided them already on the different elements of that vision. There's an opportunity to win up to £100 in completing the short 2-minute survey that's embedded within the vision place. So please do that. I think it's a really interesting one, like how we came up with this vision. So Griff and I, just over 18 months ago, we thought we were going to be building a very different business to the one that we're building today. So we originally landed on sort of expert knowledge and the future of professional services as the one in which we were planning to build a business. And we started with transfer pricing as an area of expert knowledge that we thought we were going to build a business in. And then it was actually, Griff, it was you who sort of identified how we'd get going in starting that business.
Yeah, it was really interesting as we were researching transfer pricing and all of the processes that go along with it. We were looking a lot at the sort of the first step of it of getting your actual policies in place and all the legal work you have to do around that and the requirements that tax authorities put on that. But what I was keen on as a sort of technologist and a product guy was something that we could put in front of people and learn from. And was thinking about it, what we settled on was the sort of back end of it, the actual process of running your intercompany recharges to enact those policies that you've put in place. So we sort of went away and researched that part of the process a little bit, did some mock-ups in Figma that we put in front of people and got a load of really great feedback on that product, but also learned that there were all of these other manual processes at month end that people were struggling with, and the intercompany recharges was just one part of it. And there was this whole world of things that we could build great tech to solve, to help automate, to make the process easier, quicker, less error prone, and just a nicer thing to do that you have to do every month.
And it's been so amazing to have that pulled out of us, to see this gap that exists in the landscape today between, what we like to call accurate bookkeeping and accurate accounting. My first move out of practice as an accountant was over a decade ago now, as a first qualified accountant at Fevertree, the mixer drinks business, and using kind of Sage Line 50 and spreadsheets from an accounting sort of tech stack perspective. And if I look back, today versus then, bookkeeping just unrecognizably different and better today. But that work to go between accurate bookkeeping and accurate accounting at month end, without a hint of exaggeration, I still use the same spreadsheet with a different business's name on and different transactions in. But that whole terrain, that work between accurate bookkeeping and accurate accounting at month end, untouched by great technology, by great automation until now. So we're just so excited about the opportunity that we have within our vision. And I won't sort of belabor the point by going into any of these in any detail, because there's lots of detail in the blog post on the website. By all means, please do fire through any questions that you may have. But we're just so excited about the opportunity that we have to build great automation in this space that can help our users, our customers, get their management information out faster, to make them more efficient, to make those processes more robust, less prone to human error, and to enable finance teams to do more interesting work, to add more value to their businesses and within their roles and within their own careers. So we're incredibly excited about this vision and bringing it to life over the course of the coming months and years. In terms of the focus for this quarter, so we've had Mayday Recharger live since April now. That's performing brilliantly, so thrilled to have more and more paying customers come through for that. We're now up to 25-star reviews on the Xero marketplace. Our users have said Mayday gives Xero wings for the way it enables them to grow with Xero. We've been called the answer to a larger Xero users' prayers. So we're really thrilled about how that's performing. The focus for this quarter is to complete our intercompany module for Xero. So we've got Mayday Recharger, BRAG, which stands for Bank Reconciliation Across the Group, which Griff will come on to in more detail. That's been in a really successful beta period. That's going commercially live on Monday. And then the third element of that, Mayday Balancer for intercompany loan accounts, which Griff will go into more detail on, having that live by the end of this quarter. So this quarter is all about completing the intercompany module.
Fantastic. Yeah. So the first part of that, obviously, we've talked about Mayday Recharger, which is kind of our P&L tool. So it's where your P&L across the group is incorrect and you need to true that up. That tool has been live, as Dave says, since about April last year. But what we found were there were two aspects to the balance sheet that also needed work across the group. The first one of these, BRAG, I'm so excited to get out there and for it to be commercially live next week. As Dave says, it's been in a beta period for a couple of months now. We started work on this in around September last year. And what this is the pain where you've paid an invoice, or you've received payment for an invoice, or you've paid a bill from one entity in your group, but that invoice or bill actually lives in a different entity within the group. In Xero, you've got a wonderful bank rec screen that's fantastic for everything within a single entity. But if you need to match across entities, it's really quite difficult to do. You have to switch your org, you have to find, the correct one, add the payment there, credit that to the intercompany, come back, reconcile it off. It's quite a painful process, especially if you've got a lot of transactions to do. So what we've built is a browser extension that currently works with Chrome and with Edge. We'll be adding more browsers to that in time, where we extend the Xero bank rec screen. If you've created your group within Mayday, then from one entity, you can match a payment or a received money to invoices and bills in other entities within your group. And one click, without leaving that org's bank rec screen, you can complete your bank reconciliation across the group. Super, super excited for people to be using this. Yeah, it's going to be great. So this will be live on Monday. Really exciting. And the second part of the balance sheet side of this was around intercompany loan accounts. This is particularly difficult if they're cross-currency, but it's a pain if they're not as well. So where one entity in your group has lent money, be it through your intercompany recharges and those going to the intercompany loan accounts, be it through payments that have been made or money that has been received on behalf of one other or another entity in the group, or just because you've moved money around in order to, service one part of the business that needs some. By the arm's length principle, you need to treat that as a loan, and those can be really difficult to keep in sync. You can go into one zero org and pull a sort of account transactions report for that, and pull another one and then try and match them up in Excel, and that can get really complicated if the foreign exchange rate has moved, or if you need to add interest into it and there's been payments back and forth. You have to calculate the exchange rate daily and so on, and the interest rate daily. It's really difficult. So what we are building is a single screen that will give you a dashboard view of all of your intercompany loan accounts across your group and the state they're currently in. So if everything is fine, they match up perfectly, then you'll get a nice green box. But probably more often than not, there'll be some FX adjustments that need to be made, or an interest adjustment that needs to be added to one or the other. We will figure that out automatically for you, and you'll be able to one-click add that to both zero orgs from within the Mayday screen, so that you can true up your intercompany loan accounts. So this will be really exciting. This should be going into beta by the end of the month, the end of the quarter, and we'd really love more people to help us out with this. So if you are interested in this, get in touch. We'd love to have more beta users testing this out and helping us build this through.
And we're so excited about this because we've all been there from a sort of running a finance function standpoint at a year end or whatever sort of decisive moment where the balances don't tie, can't close off the accounts. And before we know it, we've had to pull back every single transaction to work out what the root cause of the discrepancy is, literal kind of needle in a haystack stuff, tearing our hair out. And it's always the worst time when it bites. My 6-year-old son's really into Where's Wally, and I love doing that with him at bedtime. But from a professional standpoint, playing Where's Wally with trying to find the offending transaction when it comes to why intercompany loan accounts don't balance, not so much fun. So we're so excited about delivering Balancer to be the to be the health check, to be the safety net, to ensure that can never happen.
Fantastic. And then we're obviously still continuing to build out Mayday Recharger. So we've got a release that will go out next week with a few UX improvements, particularly for people that have sort of a large group with many entities in it. We're also adding a notifications page, which will eventually notify you of lots of different things in Brag or Balancer. To begin with, this is going to notify you when you've posted your recharges to zero using Mayday, you've marked it as final in Mayday, and then transactions have changed. Either a new transaction has come in, or something has been voided or edited. Currently, especially if you've got a really busy group, that you don't necessarily need to remember that you need to go in and repost your recharges. Mayday will now notify you about that. So there'll be a page with a little bell and a little notification to say, hey, we see that your recharges should change because a transaction has changed, and just go in and again sort of one click repost into those zero orgs and everything is fine.
And this is great, isn't it, Griff? Because we do a really good job, we do a watertight job of identifying where those changes have taken place, but it's this is us getting more proactive about putting it front and center that something has changed, rather than right now where it's there, but it would require maybe a click or two more to go and get there. So this is really exciting about us getting kind of more proactive and shape of things to come when it comes to all of our functionality writ large.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's Recharger.
Amazing. So that's that. that is, we've had a chance to kind of recap on the vision. This being the first of these webinars since the vision was posted. That's what's coming up in Q1. And we're incredibly excited about building with and building for you. So to fire it open to the floor, does anyone have any questions? And if so, please do fire them through in the chat. I can see we've got one that's come through already. Will BRAG handle currency conversions for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really good point, and this is extra painful if you've got a payment that's come in, or your payment that you've made in one currency and the invoice or bill is in a different currency. We will look at the sort of the FX rate on the day that payment came in and match that to invoices and bills in whatever currency your other orgs are in order to sort of help you with that. Another thing that BRAG can do while we're on the topic is actually match up against multiple invoices. And those could be in 2, 3, however many different orgs. We can automatically mark those invoices as paid in all of the other orgs. And then we'll open up automatically the add details screen within Xero. And so you can sort of split that single payment or single receive money up into the different loan accounts so that everything is nice and done automatically for you.
Amazing. So I think the shorthand on that is just, so everything that you can do within the single entity match function in the Xero bank rec, you can do, so, be that kind of part payments, be that matching to multiple bills or invoices, you can do across entity with BRAG.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And so, second question which come through, another great one. So how fixed is the vision and roadmap for Q1 and beyond? I'll take that one. So Q1, it's pretty set. We want to complete the intercompany module. We've sort of started, so we're gonna finish on that to build out that suite for customers that's relevant for. In terms of the vision for the rest of 2023 and linking back to the overall vision kind of post, that's so kind of up for influence. We've got a great idea of pain points that people have. We'd love to find out about additional pain points that we could and should be addressing. And within that survey, within the product vision, there's ranking how painful, how relevant it is for you. There's huge scope for you to influence what we build and in what order. So yeah, in short, Q1, multi-entity, but then in due course, like so much scope to influence. So we'd love to get your input. Next question has come through. Balancer sounds amazing. How soon can we expect to see it? And how could we get involved as beta users?
Yeah, brilliant. So it should be, it will be in beta by the end of this quarter. And we would love for people to get involved in testing this. So absolutely, please reach out to any of us. Our email is on the screen there. And we can send it across to you as and when it's ready for beta testing.
So yeah, the email address, roadmap@getmayday.com. Our support email address is on the website as well. But yeah, please do get in contact. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, look, I think that looks like it's everything in terms of questions. This is your speak now or forever hold your peace moment to all of the attendees that we have with us for this webinar. Okay, that's great. Well, look, I think we will wrap it up there. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. It's been a wonderful opportunity to share our vision with you, and we're so excited to be working together to have you influence it. And we look forward to seeing you on our Q2 roadmap webinar in 3 months' time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.